Good morning, students. Today's topic is punctuation. We all know punctuation marks. It helps us to, to show or raise in tone or fall in tone, where to pause, all these things. So quickly we'll move ahead with punctuation. So why to punctuate? Why should we punctuate? As I told you, it helps you, as well as in annotation and, pauses when you're reading out something, it helps you to know the structure and the organization. It also plays an important role in understanding the meaning of the sentences. Clear? This is the example. Let's eat grandpa. So punctuation really, makes a mark. It brings a change. The same way, an example is given by a particular professor. If they are like boys in the class, how exactly they punctuate, or if they're like girls in the class, how they punctuate. The sentence shows that, without man, a woman's life is nothing. The statement tells you, without, woman, a man is nothing. Okay. Slowly we'll move on with the first punctuation mark, that is full stop. It is also called as period. So quickly we'll go with the rules. Use a full stop at the end of the complete sentence. That is a statement. We all know this. So when the statement is complete, we automatically put a full stop. The second rule, if the last word in the sentence ends in a full stop, do not use another full stop after it. For example, you see this example. I know that MD. It's an abbreviated word, managing director. So you don't put a full stop after D dot dot. The same way, please shop, cook, etc. So after putting an etc. full stop, you don't put another full stop. So it's wrong. So that full stop can be considered. Okay. Moving ahead. Ellipses. Now, ellipses are nothing but three dots. We know that. It's a three dot method used for ellipse marks. Okay. Use no more than 3 marks, 3 dots. Do not put more than 3 dots. Now, for example, when you see the statement, the regulation states all agencies must document overtime or risk losing federal funds. So if you don't want sometimes to write the complete sentence, so we just, put 3 dots. The regulation states all agencies must document overtime. So instead of completing the sentence, we put 3 dots and close the quotation. So ellipsis is that particular mark. Moving ahead with comma. The comma is very, very important. So quickly we'll move with the rules. To avoid confusion, use commas to separate words and word groups with a series of 2 or 3. Now, for example, if you see this example, a property is split among husband, daughter, son, comma, and nephew. That means for among all the 4, it is being equally distributed. For example, if there is no comma here, that means husband and daughter are being, on one side, and the remaining, after division, husband, daughter, and son will be getting 1/3, and the remaining part, 2/3, 3, and the remaining part is being given to the nephew. So the comma plays a very, very important role. So if you're putting a comma, that means everyone is getting an equal share. Use comma to separate 2 adjectives. Instead of using and, you can also use a comma. For example, he's a strong, healthy man. Use commas before or surrounding the name or title of a person directly addressed. We know this. For example, I, Shailaja Ishwara, belonging to Department of H&S. The same way, will you, Aisha, do that assignment for me? So we know that after putting a name or after putting, a particular title of a person, we need to put a comma. Use comma to separate the day of the month from the year. We know this. For example, December 5th, 2000, the place, the country. Same thing. But sometimes when you're not specific about the date, for example, here, December 2003, we don't put December, 2003. So it depends. To be precise with the date and year, we need to put a comma. Okay. Use commas to set off expressions that interpret the flow of sentence. Sometimes to understand. See, facial expressions are easily understood. But if you really take a break, how the opposite person will understand in writing? I am, as you probably noticed, very nervous about this. So when you are really moving from one part expression to the other, you need to use commas. If something or someone is sufficiently identified, the description followed is considered. So in such cases also, if you're identifying for a suitable person, noticing a particular person, you need to put a comma. For example, Frederick, who has a limb, was the only person available for the required qualification. So Frederick, who has a limb. So you're particularly noticing a person who has a limb. He is the only person with the required quotation qualification. For such cases also we use commas. Now when starting a sentence with a weak clause, use a comma after it. Now, for example, if you are not sure about this, it's a weak clause, let me know now. Okay, but it's a strong clause is there. So in such cases, you need to use a comma. For example, the next, let me know now if you are not sure about this. So if there is a weak clause, you need to put a comma and continue with the remaining sentence. Use comma to separate two strong clauses joined by a conjunction. For example, I have painted the entire house, but he's still working on sanding the doors. So there are two strong clauses joined by a conjunction. In such case, comma separates both the clauses. Okay. The same way, you can omit the comma if the clauses are both short. If they are very short, I sing and he dances. In such cases, we do not use a comma. Use comma to separate two sentences if it helps to avoid confusion. For example, in this, I chose the colors red and green, and blue was his choice. So two different people, two different choices. In such case, you need to put a comma. You use commas to introduce direct quotations shorter than 3 lines. Now, for example, he actually said, he actually told, I don't care, I don't need you. In such cases, you need to put a comma. Use a comma to separate a statement from a question. I can do. Can't I? So in such cases also, we normally use these commas normally when we write sentences in dialogue writing and all that. Use a comma to separate contrasting parts of a sentence. This also we do. This is my money, not yours. This is my pen, not yours. So when you're taking a pause, it is nothing but, a comma. Use comma when beginning sentences with introductory words such as well, now, or is. You need to remember such rules, students. Okay. For example, now, I want you to do this. Yes, I do need that report. So in such cases also we use a comma. Okay. Those are introductory words. Use commas surrounding words such as therefore, however, when they are used as interrupters. So this is also a rule which you have to remember. I would therefore like a response. I would be happy, however, to volunteer for the Red Cross. For such things also, for such words, therefore and however, you need to use commas because they are used as interrupters. Okay. Quickly we'll move with colon. Colon is nothing but two dots. What are the rules under colon? Use the colon to introduce a list of items when introductory words such as namely, for example, or that is do not used. For example, you can see these. I want the following items. So when you're just giving a list without using these words, you use a colon. But when you use words like namely, you just go with commas. This is very important and very direct. A colon should not precede a list unless it follows. Now, this is also a thing which you know. I want an assistant who can do the following. When you say the following, it is automatically a list. In such case, we use a colon. But when we don't do it, I want an assistant who can. In such cases, we do not use a colon. Use a colon when the second clause remains the first clause and no conjunction is being used to connect the clauses. For example, I enjoy reading. What do you enjoy reading? It is connected with the first clause, that is the novels by Kuth. So if it is only one particular sentence you're explaining which is connected with the first clause, so we do not use a capital letter. But just see this example. If the clause is being connected with two or more sentences, in such cases, the first letter of each sentence should go with a capital letter. Okay, so this is very, very important, students. Okay, moving on. The last rule under colon. Use the colon to introduce a direct quotation. Now, sometimes, instead of putting in double quotes, we can directly write, for example, the author wrote in the first chapter. But there are certain rules to be used colon in such cases. So after writing the colon, you need to leave the line space and leave one line space. And then you have to leave, 1/2 space, on both sides, on the right side and the left side of the margin. And you need to place that particular quotation. So in such cases, do not use any inverted quotes. So when you're using a colon for a quotation, that means you need to follow these rules. Okay. So remaining punctuation marks we'll be discussing in the next part of the So go through this PPT. I'll be sharing it to you. And any doubts, we'll be clarifying in the session.